Hey there and welcome to the Code Wrinkles channel. In this video I would like to show you what I think is the biggest issue with the new Blazor in .NET 8 and obviously also how to fix it very easily. But before we go into that, I just want to announce that I have just launched my Code Wrinkles newsletter, and what I can promise is that this newsletter will be at least different than all the other newsletters that you might find around the community. So if you are interested how you can level up your game and become a senior software engineer or a technical architect, then feel free to subscribe to my newsletter. You will find the link to the newsletter in the description of this video below. Now let's get started with this video. The idea is that I'm here in the regular Blazor template on this weather component, and here we have this onInitialized async method where we simulate some asynchronous work like fetching some data. Now here the delay that comes by default with this template is half a second. So I want to increase this basically to 5 seconds to actually see what the problem is. And I would strongly encourage you to stay tuned during all these things that I want to show you here, because it will also make you understand or better understand how the different rendering modes work in the new Blazor with .NET 8. So let's run the application now. So here's the application, and what I want to do is also take a look at what happens basically on the network level. Now remember, this is the default template and it is statically rendered on the server, and it also has this attribute with stream rendering. So take a look at what's happening here. So we see that it makes a request. We already got this new component with weather, but it displays loading. And the same connection still remained open until we actually got all the data, so until all the 5 seconds went over, and then we displayed, or the data was sent through the same connection here to this browser. So everything works fine, it's just like you see in all the demos out there. However, let's assume that in this table you want to have another column with some action buttons. For instance, you want to edit a certain weather forecast. Now in that case, you would need to add interactivity. So let's add interactivity here by specifying the render mode interactive server. And since this now should be rendered or should have interactivity, what we can do is we can simply comment out this one because we don't need this stream rendering anymore. Now let's see how things happen now. Let's run the application. Once again, we have this network tab open, so let's go here on weather. Now the first thing that we see here is actually that we have this request, but our component is not rendered, so I don't see that loading. Now the problem is that only after the data was loaded, basically I see this component and the data started to reload again, which is obviously a very bad behavior for most applications. It makes a web application being unusable. To better understand what happens, let's place a breakpoint here in this onInitialized async method. Now we are back on the home page and let's click here on the weather. And we see that we did hit the breakpoint, so we click on continue. And then after 5 seconds we hit the breakpoint once again, which is bad. So this means that basically our breakpoint or our onInitialized async method is called twice if we use the regular Blazor web application with interactive server rendering. Now I know that historically we had some problems with this onInitialized async method being called twice with Blazor server. But usually what we tended to do then is we could disable server pre-rendering in the host CS.html file, and then everything went okay. However, in the latest versions of Blazor server in .NET 7 we didn't have this problem anymore, even if we used the pre-rendering strategy. And I have checked this right before recording this video, so it actually works. Now, from my point of view, this obviously makes this application to be unusable in this case. However, there is a very important fix or quick fix to it. Remember that in these old Blazor server applications, we could disable pre-rendering. Now, the question is, what if we could find a way to also disable pre-rendering on interactively rendered components in this new Blazor version on .NET 8? And actually there is a way to do this. So instead of using this interactive server, what we need to do, we can create a new interactive server render mode instance where we can set the pre-rendering strategy to false. And this would oblige basically our application to not pre-render this component at all. So if we run the application now, and if we go on weather, we see that the WebSocket connection was created instantly and I was navigated, or I already activated this component. Obviously, as the component was activated and the data was not there anymore, I just saw that the data is loading, and when the data was available, then in that case, I just got the data back. The thing is that, as you see, this time I was not hitting the onInitialized method twice, but only once. So One way to fix this big issue with Blazor web applications is to simply use or create no interactive server render mode with the pre-render strategy set to false, and this will make your component immediately use WebSockets to actually render everything, and we can avoid like this pre-rendering this application, and therefore we can avoid hitting the onInitialized async method twice. Now, if you ask me if this is really the best way to proceed, to be honest, I really don't know exactly because I didn't find anything about this in the documentation. Actually, I had a very long Twitter discussion with a user called Daniel Harris that had this problem also, and we discussed how we can actually solve it. Now, in the documentation, there is nowhere anything mentioned about how you can do this. And from my point of view, this is actually a bad thing because, as you said, the default or the way that Blazor comes out of the box with this template for most of the applications or for most of the real production use cases that you might have is actually not usable in this way. Now, what I can promise you is that there is a better way to achieve exactly the same behavior, and when I find out, I will come back and I will create a video about that and show you how to do this. But until then, I think that this is, at least in the applications that I have started to build, this is the default way that I use when I want to render components interactively, especially when I need to load data and display different markup conditionally. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video and like it so that others might discover it easier. And obviously subscribe to this channel if you didn't do this already, and if you have any question or if you just want to get in touch with me, head over to the comment section and leave a comment, and I would be more than happy to get in touch with you. And don't forget, if you want to join my newsletter, head over to the description of this video and you will find a link there to the newsletter and you can totally subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, I wish you the very best.